report on what appear to be highly offensive messages the GOP leaders in the Young Republican National Federation had been sending each other in a private group chat. Now, they were under the impression that these are encrypted messages, it's not gonna come out. It came out. So someone leaked them to the press. And for those who don't know, the Young Republican National Federation is an organization for conservatives between the ages of 15 and 40. Happy to know that 40-year-olds are still considered young. And it has about 15,000 members. Okay, so Politico reports that the group's Telegram group had about a dozen people in it. So this is, look, this is really about like 12 people. Okay, and so I don't want people to think that everyone in the Young Republican National Federation co-signs onto this type of rhetoric or uses this kind of rhetoric. But Politico reports that the group's Telegram group did have these messages within it. Here are some of the messages that were sent over the course of 7 months. Epithets like, you guys can look at the graphic and figure that out for yourselves because obviously I can't say those words, appeared more than 251 times combined. We're talking about the N word, the R word, that kind of stuff, the slur for gay individuals. William Hendricks, the Kansas Young Republicans vice chair, used variations of the N word more than a dozen times. And it didn't stop there. Bobby Walker, the vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans at the time, referred to rape as epic. Not good. I'm gonna pause for comment.
Yeah, so I heard that the Democrats do vitriolic language that leads to violence. What is this? And so the reality is that, yeah, there's been a coarsening of language. And look, there's two different things. One is strong words about political stories, etc. The other is insults like this. So did insults like this get much more common over the last 10 years? Of course they did. Was it because the super boring, dullest people in the world, Democratic politicians, drove that? No. Come on, guys, get real, get real. So have there been people on the left that have used terrible language that has led to more division? Yes. But are there people on the right now, especially among the young, that use awful language while they're I hope that they think that they're joking. Of course they do. Of course they do. I mean, if you were saying no, right wingers don't do it, well, they just did it right there. You just see it, right? And so
this is the thing about leftists that I respect Cenk. Like, don't get me wrong, I've been watching him since he was reviewing the Game of Thrones show since like season 4, I think, when I was watching it, or season 5. The thing is, like, he always gives like, are there people on the left that do it? Of course, but are the people? It's definitely people on the right that do it the most, right? But he always gives this thing where it's both sides. No, bro. People on the left, when it comes to like commenting on certain things, the left be racist, but they using like words like your Aunt Jemima or your Uncle Tom. They be throwing words like that. At least people on the right, I'm not even encouraging or disproportioning, like, you know, how, like, you know, graphic and some of the comments are with the group chat. But the difference is at least people on the right are at least gonna say the actual words that they want to say. You know, you gotta give them respect. And also, just in case if I get off track, words are just words at the end of the day. Freedom of speech, right? But I also feel like there's a difference between freedom of speech and then conducting acts of violence through your words, right? Because, like, maybe it's just me, and this is gonna sound kind of crazy. If you're not like someone that could say things like these things in front of me, then I don't really trust you, because I feel like if you're someone that is just like, oh, I love equality, I love diversity, you know, oh my God, representation, I want to know about your culture, then I know you're fake. And I know people are like that, who are very like, want to act like, you know, diversity, all this is sunshine and rainbows, but we all have our prejudice against a certain race. We all do. Everyone does. Let's be honest. So, that's just not like, and I understand this type of language is probably a lot more common because of, I hate to say it, but, you know, Myron Gaines, Russian Fit, Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, Nico, a little bit of Ada Ross as well. But these are young people. It's not like they're doing anything crazy. No, the rape thing, I'm not like with that, but this is nothing compared to the words that people were saying about Charlie Kirk. wishing death upon his family, and saying, just wishing the worst for his whole family, and just saying a whole bunch of things where like, we're happy that he's dead. We got him, and um, just like laughing at his tragic death. Like, this is nothing compared to that at all. So again, I'm not like supporting what they're saying, but I do feel like there are levels to this. Um, overall.
And is that symbolic and representative of more people? It's not representative of all Republicans. It's not representative of all Trump voters, and it's not even representative of all young Republicans, as Anna said. Okay, but is it representative of some? Yeah, of course it is. Right? Are we denying that this is a thing that people do behind the scenes? And there's two different worlds. There's a world where young people think joking about the most awful things is totally fine, right? And then there's the power world, right? The politicians, the media, et cetera, right? And they say it's not fine at all, that it's the worst thing in the world, and you should be fired for the rest of eternity for doing it. So these worlds keep clashing. So I guess these guys are going to get fired forever and ever.
Well, some of them have. They've been forced to resign. They've lost their positions. They lost job offers. So I'll get to that in just a minute. I guess. Look, there are definitely like offensive statements that were referenced in this Politico piece, and I'm not minimizing it at all.
Of course.
What I do wonder about, though, and it's a bigger question, it's a broader question, and it's not related to party politics at all. It's more about our identity as Americans. And my fear is that this experiment has either already failed or is just gonna fail if because think about what America is. America is a country where people from all over the world came together to be Americans, right?
Yep.
But what does it mean to be an American if we're all so obsessed with what makes us different and we don't have a shared identity as citizens of this country?
So
freedom.
That's definitely true, and that's why I don't like us attacking each other nonstop, left, right,
We're all
Democrats.
different, bro.
We're against that. We're gonna get to JD Vance trying to minimize this. He's got an issue because if it was just against black folks and gay folks, et cetera, then you could minimize all day long, but it also is anti-Semitic stuff. So that's gonna create a giant clash within the Republican Party, because everything acceptable except things that are anti-Semitic, and in this case, they really are anti-Semitic. So then that creates a dynamic. But overall, one other thing that along the lines of what you're talking about, Anna, is that, yeah, but if you're the Republican Party, you have to be way more upset about this. And so why? It's easy for a black person to be super pissed about it, or a Jewish person, or a gay person, et cetera. But
sure.
Look, that means
and also,
there was no black, gay, Jewish.
But here's the thing: one of the text message I saw was something about I don't know if I could say this word on YouTube, but the thing to the spick. I'm just saying it. I don't care. You use that word, and obviously, if you know what that means, it's like a person that's basically an illegal immigrant that came to this country, basically, right? And I just laughed at it. Like, I don't take anything offensive. Like, I get it. It's jokes. I'm American. See, I was born here, so I don't take any offense. And even if I was, I wouldn't take an offense, because if I cross to this country illegally, I mean, you have the right to say whatever the hell you want. That's your prerogative. That's your perspective on the whole situation. So, and I love it, like they kept on saying NIGGA, and then I was laughing because it was like NIGGUH, trying to like make fun of like the little ebonics or whatever people call it, and it's just. It's not for me. Maybe I'm messed up. I'm a little bit crazy, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. And the fact that it got leaked is something that shows that like we all have some form of like secrets or perspectives that we don't share in public. People on the left, let's be honest, people on the left are a whole bunch of like pedophiles and weirdos that like a whole bunch of like underage girls and just are into like, collaring their dogs and torturing them and doing a whole bunch of weird stuff. So again, both parties have their flaws, but at least the right, and I'm not defending them, I'm just saying at least the right has a more honest approach to certain things that like is less evil and less because again, if we all could share how we really felt about certain people and certain cultures about the world, then like we would all be fired. We would all like be in trouble. But the fact that this got leaked, it's like you know how I would compare this to? Remember when Mel Gibson got exposed with that leaked voice message that he sent when he was drunk to his ex-wife or girlfriend, and he was saying, you know, the N-word. He was saying, you know, whole bunch of horrible things, but it's the fact that you leaked it that like. And I'm someone where like I never found Mel Gibson to be racist, and if he is, I wouldn't care. You know why? Because he's a great director. He's a great actor. Um, I love Hacksaw Ridge and I love Braveheart, and he was in Lethal Weapon, one of the greatest you know, buddy cop movies. So everyone feels a certain way. It's just that like it's the fact that it got leaked out there that people are seeing a different perspective. So people are going to take offense to that, and that's okay. You're allowed to be offended. But again, how you approach the world, like you are in control of your emotion. Like one of the comments said, I'm sure said something about Hispanics, but it's up to me whether or not I want to take offense to that, which I don't, because I don't care, because it has got nothing to do with me. I know who I am. I know what I have to offer. I know who my character is. So I'm not gonna, you know, be offended by a whole bunch of young guys that are honest about their perspective. Um, the rape thing, I don't know what the context of it was. The rape was epic. I don't know what the context of it is. I mean, a lot of the text messages are just like random, um, just screenshots of like each individual message. It's not like it shows the entire group chat message individually. So again, it's not in context, so we don't really know the context of what it is. It's just offensive like stuff. Like remember when Trump said, you know, you gotta grab her by the, you know, it's like that's just locker room talk at the end of the day. Does he actually mean that? I mean, maybe. I mean, sometimes you got to, um, just to, you know, um, put set the standard, I guess. But yeah, that's all I wanted to, you know, address. And let me see what Tim. What's his face? Tim Cast. I didn't want to make this video too long, but I wanted to. Um, oops. Where is it? Is it this one? Sorry, I have a lot of reactions I have to do today. Right here. Yeah, it's this one right here. Like again, we all have our dark side, man. It's not the end of the world. Everyone has a dark side to them. All right.
From Politico, I love Hitler. Leaked messages expose young Republicans' racist chat.
I ain't reading that quote. Thousands of private messages reveal young GOP leaders talking about gas chambers, slavery, and rape. I gotta be completely honest with our audience. When we read this story, we were all laughing. Like
I was crying.
he was upset. He was like, "You guys are bad."
That's under the table.
We were just busting out laughing. Milo made a tweet about it, and he was like, "There was not one hard R in the whole chat," and he's offended by that. Here's the story. Leaders of young Republican groups of the country worried what would happen if their Telegram chat ever got leaked, but they kept typing anyway. They referred to black people as monkeys and the watermelon people, and mused about putting their political opponents in gas chambers. They talked about raping their enemies and driving them to suicide, and lauded Republicans who they believed supported slavery.
Damn.
Now, I want to clarify, too, I don't believe Politico. I think I don't know if they've like actually published all the messages. I'd be willing to bet a lot of it is dark humor. I'm sure a lot of the use of the slurs are like legitimate racist epithets or things like that. I'm not saying it's not. But like, I don't think they're literally saying they want to gas chamber people. I think they're trying to make edgy jokes.
I agree.
I just want to point this out. This is a weird thing to catch, but Politico has this weird thing about the word muse for whatever reason, because when Jay Jones talked about, you know, in his private text messages, talking about shooting his opponent, talking about wanting to see that person's children die in their arms, it was like he mused about the children dying. You're like, that is just a very bizarre use of that word. But again, the greater
Maybe it's
point here
the
is
Charlie Kirk text message person that's writing those.
What happened?
My lover, my muse.
Well, the thing. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's right. That was also very bizarrely
Fake
written.
language.
I mean, look at this message. Or finish your point. Finish your point.
No, I guess my point is, yeah, man, I think there's a lot of things that are wrong to say, but when Democrats are out there like fantasizing about their opponents' children dying and their actual like politicians running for re-election, and the media says nothing to condemn it and no one comes out and condemns it, and then those same people are posting about this, talking about radicalization, it's impossible for me to take them seriously.
Let me read this. Someone wrote, everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber, and everyone that endorsed but then votes for us is going to the gas chamber. Someone responded, if they vote for us, why would they be gassed? Because it's meant to be shock humor. He's making an ironic, he's being edgy, he's trying to be offensive. I'm going to create some of the greatest physiological torture methods known to man. We only want true believers. I would argue that if they were being serious in these posts, then they sound like they're extremely autistic. So, but JD Vance has chimed in. I think I got JD Vance's tweet. He says,
Yep.
this is far worse than anything said in a college group chat.
Yes.
And the guy
I
who said
agree.
it could become the AG of Virginia. I refuse to join the pearl clutching when powerful people call for political violence. So this is we've got this from Kalshi. Shout out Kalshi for sponsoring this segment. Who will win the attorney general race in Virginia? This is Jay Jones and Jason Miyares, and Jones has collapsed following this scandal. But Jones said in a post, when asked, you weren't simply asking questions, he says, I genuinely was. I wasn't attacking you. I was trying to understand your logic. You weren't trying to understand. You were talking about hoping Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. Yes, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. This is a guy who wants to be the AG in Virginia.
That's great. That's
saying
crazy.
He wants his opponent's children to die, so they side with his policy agenda. Well, fortunately, Kalshi's prediction model shows that he has collapsed, and Miyares is now a 2-1 favorite following that scandal. I mean, look how crazy it was. The Democrats were a 99% chance to win, and now it's flipped 62-39.
You know what I predict? I think that it's possible he might end up being condemned, but they will wait to throw him under the bus until they're 100% certain he's going to lose. Because to them, winning the election is too important. But if he gets kicked out, if there's no way he wins.
All right, so that's that video. And you see the difference in quality between the left and the right? Like, these guys just get it. They just understand it. And shout out to Simple. I love Simple. But Cenk and his team, like the Young Turks, they're just have a victim mindset and just want to appeal to everyone, and just it annoys the hell out of me, man, for real. But let me know your guys' thoughts on this group chat situation. I don't support it. I think it's just a whole bunch of random kids. Most of it, I mean, they're all youngsters. Like, we were all, let's be honest, when we were 18, we don't know nothing about the world. We just say things that, like, weren't, obviously, like, ethical at times. We don't know respect. We gotta watch our words as we grow older. Like, look at Neon. Neon was saying a whole bunch of crazy stuff a couple years ago, and then he's starting to mature a little bit more. So be sure to subscribe. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers, guys. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and comment below future videos you want me to do on this channel, and then we'll go from there. Thank you guys so much for watching.